102. And now on new days and at new times, the country's most
Good evening.
informative sex education program, Sexplosion, is on every
Social
Thursday
media,
from
good
7 to 9
evening.
p.m. and
Sexplosion
Fridays
is
from 9 p.m. to midnight
on.
with Dr. Raj, the guru of sex in the Caribbean.
A lot of times we think that sex is totally below the waist. It is not below the waist. It starts in the brain. The largest sex organ that you possess is your brain.
Tune in for discussion on all sexual matters. Sexplosion on Power 102. Empowering you.
Are the problems and destructive anxieties of today tearing you apart? If there was ever a time to readjust your priorities and refocus your vision, it's now. Join Pastor Wayne Sampson on the Vision Flow devotional program every Monday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. right here on Power 102 FM. Jesus is the only one who can give you peace in the midst of today's storm.
Well, thank you for staying here with us on Power 102.1 FM, your number one all-around station. And we do welcome you to Sexplosion on Power 102 FM. Special thanks, as always, to 9 Miles
Still hear it.
to National. It's still here in the background. Okay, we're going to try to figure that out. So we do welcome you to Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located at St. Augustine, and there he treats all sexual dysfunctions in both male and female. And a very special good evening to you, my big brother, my family. How are you today?
You and my family, you blanked me last night. A pleasant good evening to you.
I don't know why.
Pleasant good evening to all the listeners, to all the
did you-
viewers, for those of you in radio land, for those of you in viewing land, for those of you who are on social media. And I must thank you very much for those of you who take the time to re-look at the program, make your comments. I know sometimes I leave here with viewership of about 100, 150, and by the time I get home it's 550, and by next day it crosses 1,000. So I'm very thankful for that. I know some of you may not look at all of the program, but you do look at some of it, so that's something to be thankful for. So again, if you have ideas, if you have anything you want to share with me, you can contact me via my WhatsApp number 7401961. You can contact me by my cell phone number, same 7401961, and you can make your comments. You can ask for certain things. You can want me to talk about particular topics.
Yeah.
I'm there for you.
Really bad, yeah.
So how have you been? Like I said, I can't call your family again.
As a matter of fact,
Last night I was heading to San Grande all
And I
lonely
know.
with some family, and I said, well, my family going to call me name.
man, I was looking. You must call on phone.
Look at the other day, I sent a message.
Yeah.
I sent a message to Sensational Sammy, say, Lolita and I are heading south. And Sensational Sammy, big up Lolita. You didn't
He did
do
big up
that?
Lolita?
Yes.
You see, I
You
told
didn't even want to even do that.
I
And
mentioned-
Lolita asked for you this evening. She
I
said she liked Junior. I don't know what she liked about
I
Junior.
mentioned to you, if it was Lolita traveling with you,
You would do it.
I would have done it.
But she didn't want to go last night.
And I know for a fact she liked music like Secret Lovers and this kind of thing.
But she didn't want to go last night.
Or she didn't.
So otherwise I would have told you she was with me.
I really mad at her.
Yeah.
But
Things to
next
get
time-
mad.
Well, from tonight, I'm telling you, anytime you're traveling on a Sunday,
All right.
And you're listening to
But yesterday was not Sunday. Yesterday was Thursday.
well, it's like a little Sunday because today feels like a Monday.
I know.
So anytime you're traveling,
Mm-hmm.
don't send a WhatsApp. Call.
No, when I call you, you don't answer your phone.
No,
You don't answer your phone, Junior. I'm not calling you. I have no reason to call
ever
you.
since-
Even if I die, I'm not calling you.
Ever since that happened the last couple of weeks,
I don't call you.
I said to myself, you know something? I'm pretty sure on a Sunday evening, my brother traveling,
If I'm on the road doing anything, I like to listen to my Power 102. This morning, I was heading to Guaya Guayare, and I got a call when I was on Tiga Road, and I have to pull aside and park because they did an interview with me. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't even call me and say, well, Raj, let me talk. Or I'm lonely in the studio. Is I alone here?
I would have done that. You know that. Right?
I had to do an interview this morning at approximately, I think it was about minutes to 8. And it was a nice interview with Wendell and Richard and Rhoda. And of course, Steve Kahn.
This morning?
Yeah, this was a very nice interview, and I enjoyed it. I was listening to them, and Wendell was wondering if Sexplosion was on tonight. We don't have it up on the board. Come on, we need to let Wendell know that. I'm sure he's listening tonight.
Yeah.
I'm positive he's listening
But
tonight.
anytime Wendell is listening to Sexplosion, which
We reach.
we reach, but anytime he's looking for information, so he have something cooking on a low stove.
I don't know. I can't say that. I wouldn't say that.
Wendell
I would not
listening
say
to
that.
Sexplosion.
So why not? It's educational, isn't it?
I know one person in particular listens to Sexplosion that works here.
Who is that?
Skippy.
Oh, well, of course, Skippy is my boy. Skippy supports me and I support Skippy. That's a given.
Also, Skippy do support.
Yeah.
Anyway, folks, what I want to start up the program because.
I thought we started.
But I want to get into the meat of the program because
Yeah,
I've been hearing
the
good
meat.
views. I've been hearing good views on the outside about the boutiques that we have that here. But what have been happening for the last month or so as far as we're
Let me start off personal before we go into business. I don't want to start off personal because there's so many things happening personally that is just mind-blowing over the last month.
Yeah.
The month, I should say the month is done, July is done.
Well, oh yes,
We're into August.
Oh, yes,
And
into August, yeah.
the things that happened in July was just mind-blowing for me. I can't go into details because you know you are a man like to dig, and I see you bring your spade. So you want to dig deeper. All I'm going to say, it's mind-blowing. I went to too many weddings. Almost every weekend I was in a wedding somewhere in Trinidad. Either a wedding or a reception. I got fed up of weddings and reception. I don't want to see another wedding and reception for the rest of the year. As a matter of fact, I told all my family members, if all they get married, run away.
So you're not so.
I'm not going to no more wedding for the year.
So in other words, what you're telling me is that you have reached your quota for weddings.
More than reach your quota. You know, it used to be going to a wedding every single weekend.
Yes, but on the other hand, it's nice to know that people still have that sentimental values. And
Well,
thinking
weddings
of
are
things-
important, but I just fed up.
In terms of getting married.
I am fed up.
But it just goes to show you. You see what this program is doing for people? People listen to this program.
You think so? That's why they get married?
Yeah, because
Okay,
look,
I don't know.
you have been invited to the wedding, so which means they have to have some.
No, it's family connection. They have no choice but to invite me. If they don't invite me, I'll talk them bad on here. No, I wouldn't do that. No, it's just, it was too many weddings, but it was all wonderful and beautiful. And then I met this wonderful person.
I know you all.
No, somebody different. Somebody different. So I must say.
Let me hear you.
No, I'm not going to say. Now I'll tell you. You walk with your spade. I know you too well.
So you have met.
Move the spade from the back there.
No,
Yeah.
no, I see some, no, as I look around,
I see something else.
Yeah. No. I know you meet beautiful. That's why I love weddings. I know you meet beautiful people.
I didn't say at a wedding. I saw a dynamic singer at a wedding. My God, she is one sexy, beautiful singer.
Sings for a local band. or-
Yes, of course, a local band, and she entertained the crowd. She entertained me.
Did she tell you that she knew me?
Yes, she did actually tell me she knew you. Yeah, yes. She said she listens to your music and it inspires her to sing.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Where she lives?
She lives in Trinidad,
Oh, that's
and you know, this week this week was a crazy week. Tuesday I went to Princestown. And from Princestown I went to Debe, and I had a wonderful day. Tuesday was one of the best days I've ever had going to the Southland. And on my way back from Debe, I got a phone call from a person. I don't know the person, and the person told me that they would like me to do a lecture at one of the health centers in Guaya Guayare. And I was like, okay. I didn't have my diary, so I couldn't see if I had the time and whatnot. So I told them, give me some time, let me check and whatnot. Call the office, found out that I had bookings and whatnot. So I told the person, I said, I would like to be there, but I don't see how we could do it. Give me until tomorrow, which was Wednesday.
Yeah.
I went into the office just for that, and I told my staff, I said, shift people around because I want to do this lecture in Guaya Guayare. It was a lecture on HIV/AIDS and whatnot. So eventually it came around. The lady sounded very nice on the phone, very, very nice, very diplomatic, somebody who will enjoy, very professional, enjoy talking to her. So I accepted on Wednesday, and Wednesday night I had to go to a party in Sangre Grande. I was there Wednesday night until early into Thursday morning. My uncle celebrated his 70th birthday. There was a family get-together. It was their 43rd anniversary. It was at Tantra Terrace, which is owned by family, and we had a wonderful time there. Wonderful, really, really good time. And while I was there, I found out that, somebody close to the family, she died. So on our way out, I said, should I pass in the wake now? Or no, tomorrow I have to go wake. That's when I called you and tell you. I went to the wake on Thursday. And today, I left very early. I took 2 of the angels with me and we went to Guaya Guayare. I have not been to Guaya Guayare in years.
So what, you went to a certain place? Or
Yeah, the health center in Guaya Guayare. And I met the lady and she was really, really nice. And all the ladies there are nice, I must say. They're a fantastic staff there. And they treated us very well. We had the lecture and had lunch with them. Left Guaya Guayare to be back at the office because I had persons waiting for me at the office. And the lecture was on HIV/AIDS and other things, dealing with sexual matters and whatnot, things that we'll discuss on this program. And the audience was wonderful. We had some questions and answer sessions. We had some giveaways, talking about stuff. It was really, really nice and compact, and I enjoyed the audience. Of course, you have to do your photo op and all those things afterwards.
Yes,
And must thank Mrs. Mohammed, not Miss, Mrs. Mohammed. She is the person in charge of the Guaya Guayare Health Center there, and Mayaro, I think she told me. There was another lady who was in charge of Rio Claro and some other health centers, and they were really, really nice people. Had a good time,
That's the most important
typical country style kind of thing, and they were so charming. Oh my God, the ladies are beautiful and charming. I was at the health center and I saw how charming they were. Like, this is the ideal place to take in with an illness boy.
No, but they always say country girls are...
No, well, when you take it with an illness and you come in there, you don't want to leave.
Well, I had better than that for you.
What?
I would have gone in and throw myself in the ground so I can get them out.
Well, I was planning to do that too.
That's a better
But
way
I don't know if it would have worked.
That is a better way to go.
Could have beat up on the floor and thing, and
Oh yeah.
like how you just get balcony in the studio.
And say it's the big one.
It's the big one.
It's the big one.
No, but I must say, charming ladies, and I have to thank them very much for their hospitality. They were very hospitable. They were on point with everything, and you just didn't want to leave. But I had to leave because I had to get back by a certain time to see about my clinic and whatnot. And then
They didn't answer me.
let me see. Did anybody
What is
ask
it,
for
bad boy?
Junior? They don't even know Junior exists. All they know is Dr. Raj. They don't. It's like that part of the country. People, you know why? They say when Junior is on the air, he only talks about Belmont, and he only talks about Belmont, and he only talks about Belmont. He don't talk about any other area.
No, I remember.
Sometimes you'll mention Rio Claro in a passing comment.
No, but look,
And although the ladies are from Rio Claro and San Fernando and those areas, and Guaya Guayare and Mayaro, they say that, you don't ever mention Mayaro and Guaya Guayare.
Mayaro, God.
So,
No, but it's always...
but Junior, let me see your fingernails. We have to go and get a manicure for you. Yes. I went to this beautiful salon. I was at this building checking out a spot. Somebody told me they wanted to do a store in the Couva area, between Chaguanas and Couva, Chase Village area. So they told me about this plaza. I think it's Rich. Where is it? Forget the name of it. That, where Chuck E. Cheese is? How they call it? What's the name of that plaza? Ridgewood.
Richard, yeah.
Plaza. So I'm upstairs there and I saw two lovely ladies in a through the glass door. I said, lovely ladies were heading there. Walking, they were about to close, and there were two charming, beautiful women behind the counter. So I started to talk to them to find out about what they do. It's a place that they do nails and facials and other things. It's called $21 nails.
Okay.
$21 nails. And I met Miss Ali, charming young lady, right? We were talking. They didn't know who I was. No, it's only when I introduced myself after a while, because I was trying to get a discount, you know. I want to get a little discount and thing.
I know you better than
I'm fighting. Yeah, you know that.
As a matter of fact,
No.
since the lady was beautiful, knowing you,
I don't think it's Ridgewood, you know, it's Brentwood.
Brentwood.
Brentwood. That's the right
Ridgewood is in
name.
New Jersey.
What do we do in New Jersey?
I'm telling you, we leave Trinidad and we go on straight to New Jersey.
Kind of mad, but yeah, so Brentwood Plaza.
Yeah.
I think it's the administration building down to the end, all the way to the end, like if you headed north,
Yes.
all the way down to the end. And the building long, it have about maybe 10 rooms, the length. But when you watch and you see these two beautiful women, you couldn't help it. It's like, I have to go there and find out what they're about.
I'm pretty sure you had offered, even though there was an item there, I'm pretty sure
I was asking for my discount, Junior. I wanted to
You
have the
wouldn't do that.
mani-pedi done,
You wouldn't.
and
Knowing-
I was negotiating to get a discount.
Let me tell you something. Knowing that there were two beautiful women,
You thought I would have show off and just pay for it?
no, better than that.
Yeah.
If the price of the item was $150, you'd offer them $300.
You know me too good, yeah.
You want to pay the item.
Okay.
if it-
No, but I was
if it
trying.
was an ugly woman, I'll come back.
So I'm trying to get Miss Ali,
Yeah.
and there was another lady there, but they didn't want to tell me her name. For some reason, they didn't want to tell it. So I made a guess, and I said, well, she's Shanti. I said, she named Shanti or something. But eventually, one of the girls called her by her real name, so I got her name. Right? But forget her. I'm not interested in her. I'm talking about Miss Ali.
Miss Ali.
Miss Ali, who seemed to be the boss, but she told me she's not the boss. So I told her, I said, you have to give me a discount because I'm bringing Junior here. I'm bringing the angels here to do their nails.
Okay.
So after a while, I didn't talk about Junior and Angel yet until I introduced myself. And then one lady who was having her nails on there, oh, hi, Dr. Raj. I went by him yesterday.
She went, hey.
She was at the store yesterday.
Yeah.
So I wrote a card and I signed it and I gave it to her and I said, when next you go ask for a discount, you'll get a discount. And the other girl knew me, but apparently, well, one of them there knew me because she watched the program live. But Miss Ali don't know about the program. So I hope she's listening tonight, and I have to say, I have to tell her now that I was serious. Well, maybe now she will believe that I am Dr. Raj on the air. And I will bring Junior and the angels there to get at least a little.
Oh, yes, I'm going. We have a caller on the line.
Already?
I think, that is
Take the caller.
that is very early. Hello, and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Okay, that person left us. Did not realize that. I wonder if that's what Miss Ali called.
No, I don't think Miss Ali would call. I wonder if she's listening to the program. If you are Miss Ali, I think her name is Salia Ali.
Well, she had to be nice. She had a sound in there.
She be a beautiful woman. I could go back there just, I don't know, tell my wife I have to go there to do some mani-pedi. I think I'll carry the wife. I'll go
Well, I
alone.
know you're going to do your manicure. I know that for a fact. But
I'll
anyway-
go alone.
Anyway, folks,
I carrying you even.
Yeah, no, take me out. Anyway, folks, taking the time 24 minutes after 9 o'clock. You are on the inside of Sexplosion on this Friday evening with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj Ramanan of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned. This thing's so funny.
The event of the summer is here.
Yo, Kids Jamboree!
Kids Jamboree 2019, featuring your favorite superheroes and champions. This is the super-powered kids concert of the summer. Introducing Guaya Guayare.
Anybody love soca music in your mix?
Our Junior, I really need to go there and see. You really need to go there and see the beautiful woman there. Yeah. You don't want to leave.
You gotta be kidding. You're going. No agreement is.
Yeah, we have to go and get the mani-pedi.
5 5-star a kill.
I want to level like this. Yo, we going jamboree. 5-star kill. I am coming to bring the vibes. Bring the vibes. I tell you something.
Kids Jamboree 2019.
I'm gonna bring the vibes. Raise the eye. In this party, come to life.
The Incredible Island Boy, Treaty.
Kids jamboree. Let's go. 1 big 2 Crescenti place. 1 big jet. 1 big get some stuff. 1 big 2 Crescenti place. Incredible Island Boy will be dead.
Joyous Sharon.
Guess who I met last night?
Huh? You can talk on me?
Yeah?
At the MO Ballpark, Center
Nice,
of
huh?
Excellence, McCoy. Superheroes.
I can imagine when the same thing you
The
say about me
Fun
when you
Vibes is coming. Sponsored by Sunshine Cereals, Dairy Dairy, The Milky Milk, Blue Wines, Tea Time,
So,
Tampico. Go discover
such
the
a-
flavors of fun. Fats
took
International.
some
Yeah.
Our culture, our taste.
Well, he was there at the
Little Caesars Pizza,
Oh.
Cons Bike Zone, and the Any One mobile app.
Come experience the Carry Festive 14 and Vision Youth Village, an open, creative space where young minds from across the Caribbean can collaborate with and learn from successful, experienced creative visionaries. Join us at Bishop's Anstey High School from Saturday 17th August to Saturday 24th August 2019 for the Envision Youth Village to learn how to turn your unique skills and creative passions into a prosperous career. You cannot miss it. Follow us at Envision Youth Village 2019 on Facebook and Instagram and at Envision YV 2019 on Twitter. Let's connect, share, and invest as we celebrate the arts.
Well, I can tell you that nobody does better what we do best when it comes to sex education every Thursday and Friday, right here on Power 102 FM, with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located out at St. Augustine. Well, folks, is where we give you the opportunity to, kind of interact, exchange ideas with Dr. Raj. Our lines are open at 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. If you do decide that you want to send him a WhatsApp or a text message, that can also be done on his private mobile 7401961. May I remind you that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance are therefore advised. Yeah.
So after a wonderful, tiring trip, a long trip into Guaya Guayare and back. Yeah, boy, for that. I'm here tonight. Got a little time for myself this afternoon.
Quality time.
Well, I won't call it quality time because, I like to spend my afternoon on a Friday evening at home with the wife and then come to do my program to face you.
Yeah.
After unwind and charge up, to come and face you.
Yeah,
Because it's trouble here.
Yeah.
But I was telling the audience today that, the interaction I get from the audience when I'm doing a lecture, that gives you the energy to do more.
Right.
It's the very same thing with radio. If you don't get the energy from the audience, the listening audience, you just get flat somewhere along the line and you feel like just wrapping up and going home.
Yeah.
So I told them, I said, if you'll tune in to the program tonight, at least make some comments or say something, ask a question.
When we see Junior or something like that.
Well, they told me they want to have another one sometime in the future. So maybe I may invite you to go with me, depending on how you behave.
So I might make the cut then.
You might make the cut, you might make the team. I may ask the Angels to go again. They were really good. And who knows? So I have to say a pleasant good evening to Martin, Regina, Atiba, Sonja, Shiva, Dolly, Susan, Sunita, Anand, my cousin, Yvette, Bola, Sasha, Sharon, Reshma, Anil. Hey Rob, how are you? My good friend Robert Hart. I haven't seen him in a long time, but we remain friends for many, many years. Nixon, Neil, Spoiled Chick, Zumeli, Peter, Gail, Vindel, Charlie. Hey, Charlie, how are you? Giselle, my good friend Giselle, how are you, my darling? Giselle, last night I met Denise and Veda at the wake. So Veda extended her apologies again for not being there at our reunion, but she couldn't be there. So, wonderful time. We had no program last night because we don't have programs on public holidays. Whenever there's a public holiday or a religious holiday, we don't have program. Gives me time to unwind and relax, get away from it.
Okay, I understand that.
Let's see. Gentlemen, good evening, good program as per usual. Family, my big brother, congratulations to your brother taking the, well, I guess it's the King of Carnival again, Caribana?
Carnival.
King of Carnival 2019, Caribana in Canada last night.
Last night, yeah,
Right.
As a matter of fact,
Right.
tomorrow is
is
the band.
Parade of the Bands. Are you going?
Well, I'm hoping to take your car because I know your car is move faster. Your vehicle is move faster than the planes. So I'm thinking of terms that when we finish program here,
You're leaving tonight. Okay, you can have it. You can have it.
Maybe I can jump in the back seat. Now,
Oh, you want me to drive?
Oh, but
No.
I can't drive. Yeah.
I have patience to see tomorrow. I have clients that are visiting me tomorrow. Tomorrow is an important day. Tomorrow is Saturday. Tomorrow is the day before a very important day, which is Sunday, the 4th of August, an even more important day.
Yeah, but that won't take you long from here to Toronto and back.
Why?
Driving.
Yeah, well, I'll come back in time for the 4th by maybe.
You will. No, but tomorrow is the Parade of the Bands.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, tonight is Panorama in Toronto.
Okay, good. Well, at least you are informed about all the things that's happening with Caribana. I am not too informed. I know my old band Treveni, which is now KI, the band, is at Caribana.
Oh, they're up there.
Yeah, they're up there. I'm sure about that because they kind of based in Toronto. Saw them perform about 2 weeks ago. Still fantastic. Still fantastic.
Always a sharp band.
Still
Always.
fantastic. Still fun. They don't have the brass section as we used to have when it was Triveni and brass.
Yeah.
But
it's nice to see that it's surviving enough time that bands are out of style basically.
Well, not Indian bands, I'll tell you that.
No,
not Indian bands.
No,
Oh my God,
bands
they
like,
are
brass bands.
Yeah.
Atlantic.
So the program today was very educational. I wish I had more time to do a longer program, but it was more centered around STDs and HIV and those things. And I don't think we pay enough attention to those things. As a matter of fact, we don't really pay attention to those things when we're going to have sex. So which is something that I was talking about because I told them, I said, well, at least keep the education at the back of your mind and know the things that you should and shouldn't do. But I honestly think everyone should get tested at least twice a year. Full STD profile. A full, not just for HIV and AIDS, but a full STD profile. You should do that every year. Just to know your status, know where you stand. I do it because of my job. I do it every 3 months. Every 3 months I do a full status, I do a full blood works, I do everything. Because I'm exposed. Well, remember, as a sex therapist, you are exposed.
Of course you would, yeah.
So it is something that you need to do.
Yeah, you would have
for health reasons and for insurance reasons and whatnot, you make sure that you do that. So in that way, I have an idea where I am at any time in my life, any point, there are a clean bill of health all the time.
Yeah.
But it's something you have to maintain also. You have to maintain that. You have to do all the things as best as you could to maintain that. So a lot of times we take chances with the persons that we are with or wanting to get involved in something sexual or otherwise, and we really don't pay attention too much to what we should really be doing for ourselves.
Yeah. You're taking that back home on?
I wonder the same thing, It's your fault. It is your fault, Junior. You sitting there watching it. I'm watching you. You're supposed to remind me, not buff me up in front of everybody. 20,000 people you buffing me up in front of me.
No, because
I do so?
No, because I see it getting cold.
You want me to get vexed and go home?
No, you won't be fine.
I know somebody who will be happy if I get vexed.
I know that.
Yeah. Listen to me, they like when I get vexed.
They like it when you get mad.
Yeah.
But it only
I feel like pay you to get me vexed on the program.
I feel, no.
You're taking payola?
It all depends on the occasion, really.
I feel they pay you to
I
get
could
vexed.
I could
to get me
understand.
vexed.
I could understand from a sexual point, because if you get vexed, the makeup sex will be better than the ordinary. You go that extra mile.
That's what you normally do? Go the extra mile?
No, but
I don't know, I'm asking.
No, use the sexologist.
Well, I know when you're making up, the sex is much better because you're trying to appease the person in every possible
In
way.
a nice-
And sometimes you end up doing things that you won't normally do.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the opportunity that some guys use to ask for anal intercourse or for a blowjob, is something that they don't usually get.
Something
They'll-
out of the
They
ordinary.
will ask for it. They will ask for it around that time because it's makeup sex and they want it to be as great as possible, and they know that the person is going to put out.
And this is what I was about to say. Most of the times, you will get that extra bonus.
Of course, because the person wants to make you feel good. I wonder why they will try and make up sex kind of thing. Who boy?
Yeah, so anytime you meet someone else, I'm trying to get vexed first.
Meet someone outside and get vexed with them like,
No,
fight boy.
no, say, hi, hello, how are you?
Good evening to Anna, Roberto, Shiva again, Farida, Doody, Benton, Robin. Wow, okay, so we have some people there. We have persons also on Instagram, Jevon, Don, Zori16. I haven't heard from Zori16 for a while. Nella, Vashti, Alikisha. And I guess those are names that are made up with either two names coming together, or Andrea,
Yeah.
or Unreal, Nick. So a little destroy me, you know, with all these kind of makeup names, and they're just messing with my head.
So, as we opened up the program, I was asking you how things are going. How
Oh yes, I forgot that. Let me pour this in before you give it bad eye or something, you know. I'll have to drop a little bit on the ground just in case, you know. Malju, no?
Yeah.
In case I get Malju.
Yeah. But how things are settling? Are you seeing that there's an improvement, or there's things that you can do more?
Oh, there's much more that I can do, because I can't settle for what I have, because I know there's so much more that I can do to make things better. So I must say that I am looking at avenues to do that. I want to read something. I hope I can still find it. This came on Tuesday. I want to read it. I want to read it because I want to be boastful about it. Yes, I want to be boastful about it. Here, I found it. You see, it has to be the truth because I just found it. Good morning, Dr. Raj. This is, I wouldn't call the name, a couple you treated last year. We would welcome our little joy recently. We wanted to say a special thank you for all your help and making our dream possible. You assured us that you can help, and we just kept faith. You are a nana to our little Kavir. We'll visit you soon. This is someone I treated. They couldn't have children. And I remember when they came, I said, just have faith. You do the spiritual part, I will do the physical part, and you will have a child.
That's nice.
And they started their treatment last year. And when I got this, I was with Lolita, so she read it. And then I got to the Debe branch, and there was a young lady who came there who had a similar experience, and she had a baby last year. And she said, you know, my son turned 1 Saturday gone. So it felt so good to know that you could touch people's lives in this way.
And help.
It's not only curing someone of a
No.
erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation or polycystic ovaries or things like that. It is actually helping someone to have a child.
Yeah. No, you should
And
feel good.
there is nothing better than that, Julie.
No, you
And when somebody look at you as a grandpa, it doesn't matter to me because I just love children. And I think that when couples are able to have children, it's a positive thing.
Oh, yeah.
A very, very positive thing.
Especially if they are experiencing problems.
Yes. You know, every morning I have my morning breakfast, my tea and my whatever is prepared for me by my wife on a morning with my grandson. You know. Every morning. Every morning we video chat.
Yeah.
Well, he can't talk yet, but
No,
he goes crazy when he sees me.
Uh-huh.
But when he sees his grandmother, he goes doubly crazy.
Also, he's very close with your wife.
Ask Junior when he's available. I have something to show him. Now, this is somebody who wants you to be there
Yeah.
when she's being spanked, because you said you wanted to see that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if that's what she have to show you,
Mhm.
but I know for a fact that is what she wants to
Okay.
do.
We on. Okay, we're going to go to the lines. Yeah, tell her we on. Say family, we on. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Hold on one second. He's just getting his he haven't heard you. Okay, go right ahead.
Go ahead.
Dr. Raj,
Yes, sir.
I have a problem. I don't know if you can assist me.
Well, it depends on what the problem is.
I'm 85 years old, right? And I find my penis growing more and more. That is normal.
Well, if your penis is developing at 35, maybe it was underdeveloped before, and whatever you...
No,
Huh?
they got it already.
Well, if I don't have the facts, you see, this is the problem I have. When I start talking, people correct you and give you more information. So come to the adult therapy center with that. Okay?
Yeah, but that should happen.
Well, I don't have all the facts, so I can't say if it should or should not happen.
No, didn't.
Huh? No, when you come to the adult therapy center, we'll deal with that.
So you can tell me with the fact?
I need to have a consultation with you to get more information to find out if it's normal, if it's abnormal, or if not. Okay?
Anyway, folks, taking return 19 minutes before 10 o'clock inside Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM. And don't forget our lines are open if you would like to interact with Dr. Raj. Feel free 222-8255. Also at 612-8255. If you want to send him a WhatsApp or a text message, you can also do that on his private mobile at 740-1961. You can also send in your messages on our website at Power 102 FM. We will receive and air it for you.
Lots of time people will tell you something and they don't have any medical facts or anything to provide you. They can't give you a timeline of things. So in order to answer them, you need to get facts of the moment. You either get that by blood tests or other tests that you need to do. If a person can't understand that, they're just ignorant, like that gentleman. He's very ignorant, right? He call, say one thing, and then as you're answering, he's adding more to it. And people do that to you all the time. So they try to make you look as though you don't know what you're doing. When you ask them to provide all the information, they feel that they should not. You're supposed to have a magic ball to answer their question. Now, he lucky I'm on the air, otherwise I'll cuss the tail up in the proper way. Because I'm not afraid to do that either. Because if he beat me on the road and tell me something like that, I would put him in his place immediately.
Yeah.
Because I don't put water in my mouth to say anything. I don't.
Yeah.
But when people give you halfway information and they expect for you to give them a correct answer, you can't do that. And that's where the problem lies. Because half the time they may not be speaking the truth.
Well, yeah.
You have to find out if they're speaking the truth.
Yeah,
so you give
yeah.
empirical evidence as to what's happening from point A to point B to point C. This is what's been happening. These are the trends, right? Then you do the test to verify whatever they're saying if it is the truth. And people don't know that. A lot of times when you do tests an individual,
Yeah.
it does not correlate with what they're telling you. They don't know that.
Yes.
Remember, we are reading tests to get the... Take it? Yeah, we are reading tests to get the actual accurate information. So when you get the accurate information, then you are able to treat the person or tell them what is causing the problem.
I'll tell you what we are going to do is go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening.
Hello?
Anyway, folks, taking returning 15 minutes before 10 o'clock. The magic of sex education right here on Power 102 FM with sexologist Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center located at St. Augustine. He treats all sexual dysfunctions in both male and female. Don't forget, our lines are open for those of you who would like to interact with him. 222-8255, 612-8255. I'll remind you once again that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance are therefore advised. Yeah.
Someone sent me a message saying they're not hearing me clearly.
No.
All the levels are up and everything.
Everything is up.
Well-
Without listening to the transistor radio.
That's a good friend from Belmont, so
Oh, in
careful.
the family?
The family.
Oh, okay.
Mary says she's hearing you and she's not hearing me. I don't know if you're blocking me from her.
No, don't understand that. No, you're.
Well, once you say everything is up, I can't
Oh, yeah, you're
argue
good
with
here.
that.
No, you're good here.
You're the person in charge of the board. Carlos is locked on.
Can I see here in the family?
Now, some of you on Facebook may not be hearing me clearly. If you're not, let me know, because I think I should bring this a little closer, but then I'll have an issue with... I will have an issue there. Let's put this here. So when I reach to turn up the volume, we can turn up the volume.
Well,
It was in my way twice. So.
No, we wouldn't want that. Well, folks, taking our time, 14 minutes before 10 o'clock inside Sexplosion on this Friday evening. Sexologist Dr. Raj Ramnanan of Total Imaging at the Adult Therapy Center. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Heroes and champions are coming.
Kids and Jamboree.
No, he didn't hear it.
2019
You came outside.
features the superheroes and champions of TNT.
I knew it didn't hear. I heard you that accent
At the
right
Emo
away.
Ballpark, Center of Excellence, McCoy.
Are you ready?
Baila Naila.
Yo, it's your girl Nyla Blockman, and I will be performing at Kids Jamboree 2019 alongside Soca the Band, my very own band. You wanna let me open? You wanna let me so
Joyous Sharon.
Oh Lord, make me talk to them children, them one. Talk to them, why? Bam, bam, bada. My journey got a lot about with me. Okay.
Super Second.
Yeah, you don't know Super Second representing the Kids Jamboree. Home champions 94.1. Let's go. That crew, they go physical. They doing it minimal. Them no bad like we. Hey, we better to money go. Bet into the maximum. In Kids Jamboree.
5-star a kill.
It's a 5-star kill and I will be in the Kids Jamboree. Really divine. We make it nice, jamming and making noise. It's we just make the Jamboree turn up loud.
Earth Elves. Eruption EA.
Excellent, this is EA, Eruption EA. Earth Raj ready to shake the place. Long time is not overdue. Kids Jamboree this overdue.
And 3D. The Incredible Island Boy.
Kids Jamboree every day. Next song be there, Kids Jamboree.
This Sunday at the Emo Ballpark, Center of Excellence, McCoy. Superheroes and champions. Sponsored by Sunshine Cereals, Dairy, The Milky Milk, Blue Waters, Tea Time,
Tampico, go discover the flavors of fun.
Fats International,
Royal Castle, our culture, our taste.
Eastern Credit Union, Little Caesars Pizza, Conn's Bike Zone, and the Any1 mobile app.
Power 102 presents Campaign 1441.
You will decide.
Comprehensive coverage of local government and general elections in Trinidad and Tobago.
We have completed our local government nomination process.
Campaign 1441. With news, opinions, interviews, expert analysis, and live coverage of political meetings.
If we are to go forward as Trinidad today, but have that unity and diversity, we must be able to give a voice to each and every one.
Campaign 1441. Covering candidates contesting the 14 corporations in local government and 41 constituencies in the general elections. Campaign 1441. On air, online, and live with our Campaign 1441 team. Andy Johnson, Tony Fraser, Paul Richards, Avril St. Hilbert, Gregory McBurney, Sparkle McIntosh, Melissa Stanislaus, Dennis James, and Stanley Augustus. Campaign 1441 with the biggest names in politics, business, academia, and more. Bringing you the news, views, insights, and analysis. Campaign 1441 on Power 102, your election headquarters. Empowering you.
Want to tell you that nothing brings people closer to their radio than Power 102 FM. We are your #1 fan. Sexplosion every Thursday and Friday right here with the only sexologist, Dr. Raj Ramnanan of Total Imaging at the Adult Therapy Center. Once again, all lines are open. If you would like to interact with him via the telephone, feel free at 222-8255, also at 612-8255. If you are sending in a WhatsApp or a text message, You can do that on his private mobile 740-1961. Now remind you that this program may contain material that is not suitable for children. Parental guidance are therefore advised. Yeah.
Over the years, I've found that treating individuals for certain types of dysfunction, even women with polycystic ovaries or endometriosis, things like fibroids and whatnot, sometimes there's a pattern that develops. So over the years, with seeing individuals, getting information from them, looking at them, you'll see patterns of your own. Especially if you have an analytical mind. People who have an analytical mind, they see patterns in numbers, they see patterns in things that they're doing. That's what they do. So, bearing in mind that you see these patterns throughout your professional life, sometimes you look at an individual and you immediately, something comes to mind that this person may be suffering from a particular ailment or a particular dysfunction, and it may be related to something that you're seeing physically in the individual, but you just can't take that assumption and work with it, because if you don't have the evidence to back it up, you can mistreat the person. So one of the things that we do, like especially with women, and there's so many women out there who don't pay attention to little things in their lives because they don't have the time for that, or they don't think it's important. And when it comes to their reproductive health, the only time the reproductive health becomes important is if they're with a partner and they want to get pregnant. But prior to that, they don't really pay attention to their reproductive health. So you have a lot of young ladies who have polycystic ovaries, especially around now, or polycystic ovarian syndrome. And that hampers them. It does not mean to say they will not get pregnant. Some of them do get pregnant, but they're unable to carry the pregnancy because you have something that is sucking the life out of you. A cyst is being formed, and then you have a fetus forming that needs nutrients and nourishment from you, the mother. And eventually, somewhere along the line, the cyst is going to win over the fetus, and you may have a miscarriage. There are lots of women out there who also complain about having miscarriages, and they're depressed. And they're depressed because they're thinking that something is wrong with them. But it could be that the man's sperm is not strong enough, and it's a deformity that is forming the fetus, and the body naturally aborts. So it's called a natural abortion. So many times the conflict or the things that the person have to deal with, they don't think about it in terms of in a holistic way that it's me and my partner. They think about either it's me or it's him or it's her.
Yes.
One person blames the other, or they want to lay the blame at the other's feet. So it's your fault that I'm unable to get pregnant. It's your fault I have a miscarriage, or I am having this is happening to me, something wrong with me. And we think less about ourselves. That is where the self-esteem also drops, because you think badly about yourself, that you're not capable of doing the things that you want to do. You're unable to be as strong as you need to be, and you just don't feel good about yourself. And this happens a lot with persons who need the actual treatment. They need the treatment, but they're not looking at what has caused them to be at this position and what I need to do to move forward from here. Those who are really interested, like the young lady,
yes,
and the husband and wife who came to me, they did what they were supposed to do diligently. Now, sometimes you may tell a person, hey, what? Within a year and a half, this is what's going to happen. And those persons that you tell within a year and a half, this is what's going to happen, and they do all the right things, it happens much faster than a year and a half. Those who would like it to happen very quickly, which is to change things that have gone wrong for many years, and you weren't in the picture. So for many years, you have had this problem building up. And suddenly, they come to you, but they want you to find a solution today over the next 3 months for something that has built up over 3, 5, 10 years. How are you going to do that?
Impossible.
So, when you look at the interaction that a person has with their partner sexually, how they treat with their partner, what they do with their partner, the lifestyle that they cherish, the lifestyle that they have, or the lifestyle that they don't have. Then you see a pattern forming, so you can tell them, here, what you need to change these things. Many a times you have to coach a couple. It's not only coaching them in the things that are sexual, but sometimes in how to deal with one another, how to speak to one another, how to go out with each other, how to have a good time, how to embrace certain things. You have to actually go out there and coach them and give them homework to do for they to report to you. Now, when you take that is the physical and romantic aspect of it. Then you start dealing with the sexual aspect of it. Because when the couple trusts you, or the woman trusts you, or the man trusts you, they start telling you intimate details about themselves. Intimate details about themselves and their behavior. And you know, could match it with the patterns that you're seeing, or you could tell yourself, well, here what? Let's take a look at this thing properly, and let's dissect what you're doing in the bedroom. Now, again, it doesn't come back to who's right and who's wrong, who is doing right and who is doing wrong. It comes back to things are not going well. What do we need to do to fix it? And one of the phenomena I'm seeing now is that there's a lot of women now who have certain desires sexually, but it's not being fulfilled by their partner because their partner is not going to go that extra mile. And it's not something that has happened overnight. I have seen the build up to it. Because there are a lot of men out there who act as boys. They're not mature enough to be in a relationship, and they're not willing to listen to their partner. They don't want to experiment with certain things because they are afraid of failure within themselves.
Yes.
They are fear of not reaching a standard which their partner expects of them. So there are a number of factors that affect that part of it, the sexual aspect of it. Women are no more empowered than they ever was at any time in history.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And they're more empowered sexually also. So they can tell you what they want. They do reading and research, and they converse among their friends and whatnot. So they have it in themselves to come out and say certain things that you would not have heard a woman say in the past. But because we are so wrapped up in what the man role is supposed to be and the woman role is supposed to be, and when it comes to the bedroom, who takes the lead in the bedroom, we are not willing to listen to the needs of the female because we think we are more dominating or domineering, and she's supposed to do what we want and not vice versa. Many a times the man wants to do more, not in the bedroom with his wife, but outside of that.
Yeah.
And he's not willing for the wife to explore anything because I could do whatever I want because I'm a man, you cannot do that because you're a woman. So we are not willing to compromise sometimes when it comes to the sexual side.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, whether it's right or wrong, I cannot say. But I know if you don't deal with those issues, if you don't bring it to the forefront, if you don't discuss it, if you don't put things in place for the enjoyment of certain things sexual, you are not going to be happy in your relationship. You will never be happy in your relationship. Because what you're doing, you're going to fail on that important aspect of the relationship where the person wants that physical touch in whatever form, normal or otherwise, or you're going to alienate your partner and your partner is going to think outside of the relationship or outside of you.
Yeah,
because you're unable to fulfill that.
You're not on the same page.
No. And this is where I see a lot of women with that self-empowerment that they have sexually.
Yes.
They are willing to experiment with it, whether it be same sex, a different partner, somebody else, a dildo, a vibrator, or whatever it may be, a comfort toy, an experimental toy, something to give them that edge. I've had women come and make orders for certain type of equipment. Now, because we maintain a level of confidentiality and discretion, there's no mention of it. When it comes, it's repackaged so that they can take it home, they can hide it away, they can put it wherever they need to put it. You must have a safe area, especially if you have children, where you can lock something like that away. And even locking it away, you should have, there are lockers for toys. Nice looking pillows and whatnot that you lock, so that nobody could go into that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it's like a double lock. Even if somebody gets into the cupboard where you have those things, it's in a compartment that is already locked, or also locked. There's a nice little silver box like a makeup kit.
So it's double whammy if you're trying to get it.
And you have dials on it.
Oh.
So you put your own code and you lock that away.
Yeah. That's the way to go.
Well, yes, because it is a personal device. It is something that you may not even want to show your partner, because your partner may not. There's so many men intimidated by a sex toy. They're intimidated by it.
Yes, I know a lot of people like that.
Right. So, upon seeing or hearing or realizing that your partner is using a toy and it's intimidating you, now, the funny thing about it, you do not need to use a toy from a store to enjoy sex. Because in the days of not having toys, people would use candles, they will use a phallic object. I have seen women use spray cans, little cans that you get, those body spray and thing. I've had women told me that there was a popular cream, comes in a blue bottle with a long neck. I know one girl who used to have sex with that all the time and her parents never knew. And this is someone who was not of age, of consent, but she experimented and she was having sex with this bottle for years. And when she told me about it, she was not even 18 at the time. And I asked her how she felt. She said, well, whenever she's horny, that's what she does. She uses this bottle that has the ideal shape and length to give her satisfaction. She can put it at different angles because of the shape of the bottle. And she could have sex with this bottle. So when you think your child is locked away in the room and they're studying or whatever, she's having sex with a bottle.
Yes, because in our days growing up, we never had the opportunity to have the vast toys that's available now.
Never.
Gotta go with the
There are some toys that have lasted throughout. It's a long time, like the Venus butterfly. A lot of women like the Venus butterfly because of what it does. It vibrates on the clitoris and the vagina. So the Venus butterfly is one of the more popular masturbatory designs.
That's the one with like a little finger?
The antennas of the butterfly is at the top, so it does this to the clitoris. Now what they did, they upgraded the Venus butterfly to put a penis on it, so it goes into the vagina that vibrates inside of the vagina. So you have this thing playing with the top of the vagina like that. It's beating on the vagina, and then you have something vibrating inside of the vagina. And of course, this part vibrates also, so that is on the clitoris. Like you have the C-vibe. The C-vibe does the very same thing. It goes into the vagina like that, clamps onto the vagina, so it vibrates at the top of the vagina, the clitoris and the G-spot, and then you insert your penis behind it. That's a very popular device. When it first came out about 5 years ago, it was a top-selling item. It was a top-selling item, so I can tell you that. Now you have items that are being advertised or being tried out by porn stars and whatnot. It's on the internet because they're trying to create a buzz for the item, and eventually it becomes public and people buy it. So there are many things that you can do. But if you don't have that conversation with your partner, if you are unable to convince him or her of the things that you need to do sexually, or if the person takes it for a joke or don't see the seriousness of it or the need for it in the relationship, they'll just cast it aside and they'll just leave it at that.
But let me ask you, why, and this is something I know that you have gone through here on this program, why it is that I would say a high percentage of men are afraid of toys of their spouses or their girlfriend?
Because of the capability of toys and knowing that your partner could actually use something other than your penis or your tongue or your finger.
Yeah, but at the same time, you as the male still getting some satisfaction.
Well, if you are opposed to something, how would you get satisfaction from it? You don't. Because you're already going into it with a negativity. You're going into it with the whole idea that I don't like this thing.
I don't really like using it too.
Or I don't think my wife should be using this. So I need to show I am man and I don't want you using it, and you better stop using it. So you create an environment of animosity and confrontation, and you're not accepting of the fact that the person could use this to feel good.
Yes, because that should give, as a man, when you're thinking in terms of a man, that should give you some sort of satisfaction, knowing because, okay, let's say you're having sex with your spouse, you ejaculate, you come, and your partner still not satisfied. That is where you could bridge the gap by using a toy.
Correct. You can use the toy to bring about a certain level of satisfaction to your partner.
Right.
But if you are opposed to using the toy, you will not use the toy properly. A lot of time we are not versed in using it. We don't know what it's supposed to do. It's like, okay, let me give you a very good example. A G-spot vibrator is shaped like that. It has a curve to the top.
Okay, yeah.
But if I insert a G-spot vibrator into the vagina like this, would it work?
No.
No, because it's not touching the G-spot. If I insert it like this, crossway, it's not going to work. If I insert it like this, it's not going to work. It has to be inserted properly. But there is no arrow or there's nothing on the vibrator to show where the curve is. So you have to have the knowledge that I am inserting a G-spot vibrator into the vagina, and I got to keep it upwards. But there's nothing indicating that this is upwards.
Yeah, like a little arrow.
Nothing. So if you're having difficulty with that, what do? Get some nail polish, straight to the back where the battery compartment is. You put a little dot, and you know that is up.
Yeah. Well, of course, yeah.
Or a marker.
That's the way, yeah.
You mark the spot, so you know that this part is up, so that you do not insert it this way, that way, or the side. So every time you look at it, the dot's supposed to be on top here, and if the vibrator is pink, you put a blue dot, so it shows up.
Yeah. Because
right?
Once you make a mistake at first going in, it's a turn
not
off.
going. It's a turn off, and it's not going to stimulate where you want to stimulate.
It's a complete turn off.
But how many of us think about that? We don't. The average man, because it interferes with his ego, he's not going to think about what I need to do to make this work properly. Now, I'll say the average man, and not all men. There are men who are very versed in it because they want to work with their partner, their wives, their girlfriends, and whatnot, to use the toy. There are some women who want double penetration, but they don't want to have a second person or a third person in the bedroom. So there are dildos that you can buy that attaches to the penis, so you have double penetration with that. You have the over-under vibe. There are so many things that it have out there when it comes to toys. It's unbelievable. The amount of different objects you can get. There are some things that you can put on your penis that vibrates on your scrotum, vibrates at the top of the penis, and vibrates the vagina also. So there are a number of things that you can get to make it more exciting.
As a matter of fact, it should be more exciting, and it will even go for a longer period of time. Because you just don't want
Some of the devices cause you to last longer. Some of the devices could make you ejaculate faster. So if you don't experiment with it, if you don't use it properly, what's going to happen to you? You're going to fail.
You will.
So it's important that a couple wanting to get equipment for sexual satisfaction do the right thing. Go together, get advice, find out what you could use, what will work best for you and your partner. What are the devices that will make me most comfortable? Because here I am willing to do it, and that's what will work.
Yeah, you got to go with what will work for you.
But do we do that? Special good evening to Savitri, Lily, how are you, my dear? Indira. Cyan, how are you, Cyan? How is the vacation going? Janelle. Nafisha. Do you think embarrassment prevents people from seeking help? Of course it does. If a person is embarrassed about asking a question, because sometimes we have a question in our head, but we don't know how to formulate it to ask the question.
Yeah.
Sometimes we think that if we ask the question, the person who we're asking the question of becomes judgmental as to our sexuality or our behavior, things that we enjoy. I have had many persons, I meet persons all the time, every week, every time I go different places, I go to my clinics and whatnot. And there are women who are shy about asking questions about their own bodies. There are men who are afraid or ashamed to tell you something about themselves or their behavior or their performance. Yeah. And you just have to be patient to get that information.
Get it out of them.
But it eventually comes.
Anyway, folks, taking the time, 12 minutes after 10 o'clock, more now than ever, we are simply putting the fun back into sex education right here on Power 102 FM with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj Ramanam of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center of its Augusta. Well, tell you what we are going to do. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Trinidad and Tobago, we're ready, standing united and moving forward as one. We're one people, one nation, and all in this together. Let's do this with Sherry Wilson on Power 102, empowering you. The biggest summer concert festival ever.
Saturday, August 24th, Queen's Park, Savannah.
One Caribbean.
Many weeks.
After talking all the clients and the lecture, my throat is starting to itch.
That is stick up tool on you.
And his band.
That is stick up tool on you.
Nyla Blackman.
Allison Hines from Barbados.
The Calypso Queen of the World, Calypso Rose. Antigua's Ricardo Drew.
Neval Chitla, Richard, and Ricky John. Voice, Lex, and the All-Stars. Carifesta Island Beats.
One Caribbean.
One people.
Many beats.
Powered by NLCB, Blue Water,
Caribbean Airlines, Digicel.
and Southern Sales Car Rentals.
So who was the lady with the samosa and pakora and thing?
Power 102 presents
With the samosa and the pakora and thing. Sunday gone.
comprehensive coverage of local government and
Is that what?
elections in Trinidad
I
and
don't know,
Tobago.
is that white? Is that English guy?
No, the girl.
She's that is why. Yeah, they know they just recently got married,
Oh, okay.
and she works for this company.
It's here to be
But-
forward for now to
I
get
think
back
so.
that unity and diversity. We must be able to give a voice to each and every one.
Campaign 1441. Government candidates contesting the 14 corporations in local government and 41 constituencies in the general elections. Campaign
Not that please
1441.
everyone.
On air, online, and live with our Campaign 1441
I don't
team.
need to
Andy Johnson, Tony Fraser.
I was asking her.
Admiral Silicon
Something
Man,
with
Gregory
like
Murray,
fish.
Sparkle McIntosh, Marissa Stanislas,
No.
Dennis James, and Stanley Augustus. Campaign 1441 with the biggest names in politics, business, academia, and more. Bringing you the news, views, insights, and analysis.
Not even a dream. What did he do?
On Power 102, your election headquarters, empowering you.
Maybe I've done. You do something else on the whole family. No, you don't. I know tonight they drink this soup. You don't know about Tutti not for Tutti. But he's a nice guy. I didn't like him at first, but tonight I'm going to the line. Well, thank you for staying with us on Power 2.1 FM. Nobody does better what we do best. Sex education to a whole new level. Well, tell you what we are going to do. We're going to go back to the lines. Hello and welcome to Sexplosion. Good evening. Yeah, family.
Yes, I'm a question, Dr. Raj.
Go right
Go ahead.
It is not too high at the moment, but I wanted to find the relationship between DNA, the pineal gland, and the kundalini. I hope I'm not.
If there's a relationship, if there's a relationship between the
Kundalini,
Mhm.
DNA, and pineal gland.
Well, you know, nothing changes the DNA.
Yeah,
Well, right. So let's take that out of the equation.
right, good.
But once you're dealing with the gland, and once you're dealing with this, the circulatory system of the body, which is the nervous system, you are also going to interfere with the other circulatory system that we have,
Yeah, okay.
right? So yes, there is a direct relationship. For example, our arteries and veins transport blood, so you have the circulatory system dealing with that, right?
Yeah,
The glands, they have a function also. That's a system to get rid of toxins and whatnot from your body,
yeah,
right? And then you have the nervous system. So when those things working in conjunction with your everyday things that you're doing, walking, sweating, eating, whatever, it's supposed to work in a synthesis. When you start dealing with the higher realm of it, which is the chakras or the kundalini and those things,
right, yeah.
one of those senses are excited more than the other. Right? It's like an erection. When you get in an erection, the circulatory system, more blood goes to the penis, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So that is excited and the nervous system is excited, but one is excited more than the other.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with the kundalini and you're dealing with the chakras, the nervous system, I wouldn't use the word excited. I think it becomes more balanced based on the kind of individual that you are.
Yeah.
Your personality comes into it. Your personality is not only your DNA. Your DNA is your makeup. It is who you are. It is your cells. It is those things. That does not change.
I know that, yeah.
All right. So when you put the word DNA there, you're interfering with something that really doesn't get interfered with.
Yeah, correct.
But when you talk about the systems that we have, the adrenal glands, the system that we have for movements, the nervous system, the blood that flows through our body, one of those functions get more excited than the other, so the others either have to move up in whatever they're doing or drop down to accommodate whatever is happening. But if the individual is unable to balance that within themselves, there is a conflict that takes place with the person. That's why a lot of persons don't have the awakening of their chakras, or they don't have the awakening of their kundalini, because they can't handle it. Recently, someone went to India and they brought something back for me. When they gave it to me, it is something that I was very appreciative of, but I couldn't keep it on me because of the vibration that it was letting out.
Is that chakra pendulum?
Right? I'm not going into the name.
All right, sorry about that.
Right.
Okay.
No, I don't want to go into the name.
Okay, yes.
And because of that energy that it was emitting or causing my body to emit,
Yeah,
I had to move it away from me physically.
I understand.
Right? Now it's the same thing with the pendulum. I'll use the pendulum now. When you're looking at the balancing of the chakras, or you're checking someone out, and you start, I don't know if you are Mako in my business, or if you happen to be there, right? No, this is a joke. It's a joke. But on Tuesday, someone came to me concerning their chakras, and they told me that someone who they're going to told them that their chakras are blocked. So I said, would you allow me to check something on you? And when I checked it, the base chakra was blocked.
Yeah, that's the root chakra.
That's the root chakra. Now, anything that you have, if the root is not functioning, would the rest of it function properly?
Right.
Obviously not.
Yeah, that's right.
So, when I checked the others, it was functioning, but it was not functioning optimal.
I see.
So the energy that has to move up and down the spinal column of this individual was being hampered. So when it gets down, when the energy moves up and comes back down the chakra, the spinal column, into the base or the root chakra, what happens to the person? The energy leaves there to go back up, but the energy is not going back up with the same force. So when the energy reaches halfway, it's dead.
Okay, go back down. Can't go up.
So this is what we have to understand about our body. But you see, in Sanatan Dharma, it teaches you these things. In yoga and whatnot, it teaches you these things. And it tells you what you need to do to revitalize yourself and energize yourself. For example, Surya, which is the sun, gives you that energy directly through your head.
Right.
That's why it's important for Hindus to wake up early in the morning and offer jal, water to the sun.
Right, okay.
That's very important to us.
I see, okay.
Because it does something to your movement, and it's a spiritual thing and also physical.
Yeah, because
So if you're only using the physical part of it or the sexual part of it, that is also a pathway to spirituality. But it is how you go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
There are many pathways to spirituality, and Sanatan Dharma teaches you that. You don't just take one road. There's not, okay, just as how you have a person up in the mountain doing job, you could have a person sitting by the roadside as a vagabond, and he could also be doing his spiritual thing.
Right, okay.
So every one of us have it within us, and we don't need to do something superhuman to achieve it. But do we embrace that? You know, last night I was listening to the Vyas, the Pandit at the week, and he was saying something that was very profound. At least once in your life, God appears to you. But do you have...
Doctor, I'm listening to you off the line, right?
No problem.
Yeah, okay, fine.
But do you have it within you to see God when he or she appears in front of you? And many times the answer is no. Just the same way Sanatanists believe anybody or anything could be the God coming to you. You know? So if a dog comes to you and he's hungry, feed the dog. You know? That's what we believe. Because you cannot tell me God being this powerful being and he could be anything, anywhere, at any time, to anyone, cannot come as a dog, a cat, a rat, a mosquito, or what. But of course he's going to come to you as something that is going to have an impact on your life.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, at least once in your life, you are going to experience that. But do you have the spirituality to experience that? It's the same thing with finding a sexual partner. Your ideal sexual partner or ideal sexual partners are out there. A person might be able to have great sex with you just having vanilla sex, meaning penetration. They're on top of you, you're on top of them, and it's great. But if you want to go into a different realm, you may need another person to take you there. The person who is doing vanilla sex with you cannot take you to that chocolate sex.
Okay.
The darker sex. Because he or she is incapable of doing that.
They can only go to a certain level.
They could only go to a certain level and they cannot cross that. And you as the practitioner of this may not be able to do it with your partner because he or she is incapable of understanding that and embracing that. So you have a challenge there also. So lots of time we are here as the physical being, and I'm not talking about spirituality here, I'm talking about the physical being who needs a level of satisfaction sexually to enjoy life.
Okay, yeah.
We need it. Do we get it? The majority of us don't get it. Do you know why? We are not open enough mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually to accept that. We are not. We are not prepared to do that.
We don't need choice.
So if you're not prepared for that, which is the sweetest thing in life is sex, how could you be prepared for the other aspect in life if you haven't embraced this? That's why some of the temples in India have all these carvings and drawings and fantastic positions with animals and men and women and dog and cat and everything else, so that you who are going for a spiritual enlightenment will have no impact on your mind when you go in there, because you've already been there, done that, seen that.
Yeah.
It has no impact on your mind. That's one of the reasons it's outside the temples also.
And it makes you feel comfortable.
You're very comfortable. But how many of us could embrace that? How many of us are on that pathway to embrace that? We have to change ourselves, our mindset, to understand that if I want to be powerful me, because I am God. All religion will tell you you are a replica of God, or you'll be made in His image, or what. So what does that make? If I'm made in His image, it does not make me God. You are your own God. But at the same time, you realize that there's a higher being other than you. One that you need to pay reverence to.
Yeah.
Now, in Tantra, sex is used as a means to attain that spirituality. Now, not all pundits and all sages and seers and things embrace that aspect of it, because to them that is tamasic,
Okay.
meaning it's not good. It's not a good pathway to that, but it is there. It is there. If it's there, it is an option. So again, in Sanatana Dharma have many options to self-realization and spiritual realization, not just one.
Okay. Yeah.
There are many, many ways of doing it. You have to find your pathway and what works for you. And I cannot study that you are my best friend. We've been friends for many years, and you do X, Y, Z to attain spiritual enlightenment or happiness, and I need to do the very same thing. It will not work for me, because it is not in my characteristics or my DNA, as the gentleman said, to do that. So we are all unique human beings. And what are we seeking? Why are we here in this body, and what are we seeking? That's the question that should be asked. There are many women out there, young and old, active and inactive, who are seeking a certain level of sexual awakening. Or they have a sexual awakening, but they have to stifle it because of who they are, who they are married to, or what society is looking at them, what segment of society. So they have to stifle that part of them that they need to explore. So they exploit in secret, they exploit in the bedroom with themselves, they exploit it with a same-sex partner, they exploit it with another partner, or they stifle it and they become dull. Have you ever seen women who are supposed to be bright and vibrant become dull?
Oh, yeah. Overnight too, as a matter of fact. Looking nice like a rose today, and the following day, you look like a widow.
PPG, I did not get enough of it. I only got just enough. It wasn't even just enough. I needed more.
Oh, you needed more?
Yeah. You know, when people bring something for you, they mustn't just give you a piece. They must give you the whole thing, the whole hog.
That cup of tea must have tasted very good.
Yeah, but so I needed more of the tea.
Tea bag.
Yeah. So PPG, next time you have to give me more of that, please.
Oh, yes. I'll remind her, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, you know, there are certain sweets and there are certain savory items that I like.
Yeah.
And when it's mixed sweet and savory, you get a different taste.
A nice taste.
So, you're exciting your taste buds.
Yes.
Many a times, and again I come back to Tantra, that's why I love Tantra so much, that's why I embrace Tantra. Many a times in Tantra, you have out-of-body experiences when you're having sex. Meaning, you are having intercourse, but you're not there physically, your body is there, but you are outside looking down at what's happening, looking across at what's happening, or feeling what's happening outside of the environment of it happening.
So, okay, for the benefit of our listeners, let me ask you this. In a situation like that, in other words, what is happening there is that you are outside your body watching yourself having sex.
In a sense, yes. Meaning that your body is having sex,
Yeah.
but your spiritual side is outside of that. Because no one can tell me, absolutely no one can tell me with certainty where your soul is. No one. And from my teaching and my understanding, my limited knowledge, I know your soul is not within you.
It's not within.
No. Your soul is not encased in your heart, your brain, your tongue, your navel, your kidney, your liver, your lungs, your big toe, your small toe, your little finger, your ring finger. Your soul is not encased in anything.
Okay, let me ask you. You know, some people make a statement by when you meet someone and they say, you know, this person is my soulmate. How they assume?
This soulmate concept is this concept of soulmate is being used very loosely. It's like, you know, in a wedding, they'll say two souls become one.
Right.
Impossible.
Yeah.
That cannot happen.
Join in matrimony. That's the line.
Don't let nobody fool you. That don't happen. That cannot happen. Soul cannot be joined.
I could, yeah.
All souls come from one soul, the super soul, the Paramatma,
Yeah.
the super Atma. But we are the Atma. We are the spark of divinity. That's why I tell you I'm God. God is within me. The spark of divinity is within me, outside of me, around me. That's why you have an aura. Everyone has an aura. It's either bright and shiny, it's either dull and gray, it could be different colors, it could be... And there are persons who can see it. They can feel it. But when I was learning about these things, one of the things that was taught to me by the guru for this is that when people get together, the souls of those individuals may not be interacting the way the people are interacting. Because the soul cannot feel, smell, taste, hear, get wet. Nothing like that could happen to the soul. Right? So the soul intermingle outside of the body. So the soul could be here. Yours and my soul could be right here, intermingling, over there in the corner there, outside of here, but within a certain distance of the body. Because the body is the vessel of the soul. So the same thing happens in tantric sex. In Tantra, because of that energy that flows up and down your spine,
Yes.
and you know,
Just take a point. I don't want this person to leave us. Hi, hello. Thank you for holding. Family, good evening. No, but good things come to those who wait, family.
Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Yes. Doctor,
Yes?
you're so old. And listen to me. Given all the corners, you know. Doctor, you know what you just said there? From Siddhi Satcha?
Mm-hmm.
You're so old. Vishnu Puran.
Yeah?
You hear that? Doctor, so old boy.
Tell me something. You someone who will be versed in this. What is Sukul Muni?
Chukul Muni is from the lingam.
Right.
Within the force
Mm-hmm.
of the energy.
Mm-hmm.
Where the eyes go, the mind follow.
Right.
The energy sources.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
Right? And hear what you do tonight to me. You tell me something, come to you, to massage you, to teach me something of the body.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
It's not a problem.
No, listen.
Life is a learning experience, you know. Life
you
is...
wake me up, Mendo. You wake me up of the nervous system.
Mhm.
What they talk about is, I think, energy sources. I'm sure,
Right.
You're a doctor. Doctor, you're so old, You hear what you're talking? And hear what you told the people of the universe, who will center you,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you so on that I always listen to you. And you know why I listen to you?
Why?
You have the energy sources point for the universe. You're blessed, brother.
Thank you very much.
I'm telling you, no, no.
Thank you.
Yeah, talk to me now.
No. Well, what I was trying to explain, and the same thing with Sukul Muni and that energy force that comes...
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that comes from the lingam.
Lingam.
and the power of the lingam.
Yeah.
A lot of times we don't understand the power of the lingam. We feel the lingam is just going to chalhawe water on.
No, most people, not me and you.
No, well, you and I know it's not that.
Yeah, yeah.
But
He knows what he knows.
people are so caught up in rituals as opposed to the philosophy.
Yeah. You know, the other night you was talking about city satcha,
Mm-hmm.
about little girl children and thing,
Mm-hmm.
I tried to call you, but I wasn't getting you, And I want to compliment you all the time. People like Bill Bagay,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, you will, yeah.
Who is my teacher,
Mm-hmm.
right, in dance drama,
Mm-hmm.
right? Also you too sometimes. Just wake me up. I laugh, you know. The other day I laugh me belly full,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know why?
Why?
Because a man was trying to question you. And you're so misunderstandable.
Well, people will misunderstand what they cannot understand.
After the fellow just now,
Uh-huh.
the caller before me,
Mm-hmm.
you put in, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, and you are the Utah boy.
Nah, don't elevate me there.
telling
I will
you.
not be elevated there.
Your guru.
He's a deuter.
Was a guru, right?
Yeah, well,
Good.
you asked me if I know who's the guru.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Both is it, for what is bad, for do is good and many is beautiful. What
Mhm.
it is? Sex. Okay. Because
I'm listening. No, I'm listening to you.
you know I want you to tell me the truth. Because
Well, I will continue with the program and expound the truth.
I understand with you.
That is my duty to expound the truth, and people have to take it and go and do their research and go and find out about this philosophy that I talk about. I don't just come here to give the information and say this is it and this is what it is. They have to go and find out more about it, because it is a learning experience. I am still learning.
No,
I am still learning. You can't tell. I know people will tell me otherwise, but I am still learning, because my life is that. My life is learning. But as I learn, I give.
Hey, family,
Yeah, family.
that's your guru.
Oh yes, man, there's real family. As a matter of fact, the brothers, different mothers. Okay, well, thanks a lot for calling, family.
Listen to me. It's all right to be born.
Mm-hmm. Okay, my friend, I tell you.
Someone, my good friend here, asked this question: if souls cannot be joined, why is there so much talk about soul ties when two people have sex? Are soul really tied? Souls cannot be tied. You see, if you understand the concept of the Atma, and in Sanatan Dharma it explains the Atma to the infinite detail, you know. That's why I am angry with my Hindu brothers and sisters when they are ignorant of these facts. One of the things that has happened to us, because we live in a westernized society, we have watered down our teachings. Not religion alone, but our teachings. So nobody in a westernized society, well, I shouldn't say nobody, but the majority of us in this westernized society do not want to know about the Atma and the Param Atma and all those things. They do not want to know of the journey of the Atma back to Godhead. We don't want to know about that. But you have to know about that to understand yourself. And if you understand the power of the soul, and Lord Krishna explained the power of the soul and what the soul means and what death is. Death is something to embrace, not something to run from. How many of us are prepared to die this second? If I ask that question of individuals, how many of us are prepared to die this second? And put up your hand. Not a living soul will.
No, it's not all.
Except a person who is realized. Because we realize that you can die any second, and we have already made peace with God, or whatever we need to make peace with. The rituals, even the rituals that goes after that, we have done that already. So the liberation of the soul takes place, meaning the soul goes back. So the sexual side of that could be used for the very same thing if you know what you're doing. Because we cannot all take the same path. If I want to go to Guaya Guayare, which I did this morning, I could go through Sangre Grande, I could go through Beach, come out in Rio Claro, I could go through San Fernando, I could take a boat and go all the way around and come out Guaya Guayare. There are 5 or 6 different pathways I could take to go Guaya Guayare, isn't that so? Or a helicopter.
Oh yeah. There you go.
From Camden. So there are 5 ways to get to Guaya Guayare, and you can't tell me which one is right and which one is wrong. If I could afford to take a helicopter ride from the savannah in Port of Spain to Guaya Guayare, I can pay the fare, I will be taken that way. But is it right or wrong? It's not right or wrong. If I have to get to Guaya Guayare, that's how I get to Guaya Guayare. If I have to drive through Sangre Grande and all that traffic and get caught up because the coal mine bridge is no longer there, that's a correct way. So don't tell me there's one correct path to the liberalization of your soul or to the betterment of you or happiness for you. Don't tell me there's one way. Don't tell me I have to sit in a corner and call God's name all the time. God never said that. At least in our teaching, it doesn't teach you that. All he says is remember him or her. Do a little job in the morning, call his name, and you go about your business. Work is worship. You could sit down and pray to God, and if you're not working or doing what you're supposed to do, you're not getting anywhere. So those are the philosophy by which I live. I cannot live by another philosophy because that's what is embedded in me. It is who I am. I'm a Sanatanist Hindu, and that is not going to change.
You grew up like that.
Right? Nothing could change that. If you could get me to change my belief, I should not be living. I'm telling you as it is. Because it means to say, I have defeated myself. That is my belief, maybe different for other people. I have defeated myself. I'm no longer strong enough to hold on to what I am given, and I'm embracing something else. So I'm weak.
Anyway, folks, taking our time, it's now 17 minutes before 11 o'clock. Sexplosion on this Friday evening with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Image, and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located out of St. Augustine. He treats all sexual dysfunctions in both male and in female. And I'll tell you what we are going to do at 17 minutes before 11 o'clock. We're going to take that break, and we'll be right back with you. Stay tuned.
Problems and destructive anxieties of today tearing you apart? If there was ever a time to readjust your priorities and refocus your vision, it's now. Join Pastor Wayne Sampson on the Vision Flow devotional program every Monday from 5:30 to 6 a.m. right here on Power 102 FM. Jesus is the only one who can give you peace in the midst of today's storm.
Reggae Ride, each and every Saturday from 6 to 10 p.m. on Power 102. Reggae Ride with the Empress, Gayland, and the ultimate DJ Shane. Good music.
Feeling nobody
Join us for
knows.
some soothing reggae music on a Saturday. The Reggae Ride.
You didn't hear something go just now? You didn't hear something go just now? Push the cup.
Saturdays from 6 to 10 p.m. on Power 102. Empowering you.
The event of the summer is here.
I thought you had to go something go.
Kiss Your Booty 2019, featuring your favorite superheroes.
I
and
jammed the cup
champions.
there, man.
This is the super
Oh, this is perfect mix, man.
This one is perfect.
Perfect.
Anybody love soca music in here? Make some noise.
And her full band.
Naomi, come and dance with
This
me.
is the
Gulab jamun with prunes in it. Ooh, I haven't had a good gulab jamun in a while.
Yeah, what is that? Now something.
Gulab jamun, the fat korma.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I don't think she means fat korma here because she's talking about tulum and gulab jamun.
Tulum.
Only PPG and Izzy will know about that. Right, PPG? I hear PPG. She's not responding. Woo! That's some nice tulum the other day, boy.
I don't like tulum.
I know you don't like it. I like it.
Stick up in your mouth.
Yep, you really don't know how to eat tulum.
Superheroes and champions. The fun and vibes is coming. Sponsored by Sunshine Cereals, Jerry Dairy,
I like goba cheese.
Nah, I love the
Love
tulum.
goba cheese.
Discover the flavors of fun.
Love goba cheese. Love.
Our culture, our taste.
Eastern Credit Union, Little Caesars Pizza, Cons Bike Zone, and the
Yes, PPG, she said it. She sent it to me. She's teasing me. That together with a picture. And she didn't tell me to share it with you.
I want to tell you that when it comes to nighttime radio and sex education, we are always one step ahead. Nobody does better what we do based on your number one all-around station, Power to FM. A station that's reliable and effective. Sexplosion, Friday edition with the guru of sex education, Dr. Raj of Total Image, and the Adult Therapy Center, which is located out of St. Augustine. So, our lines are open. We would love to interact with Dr. Raj. Well, feel free at 222-8255, also at 612-8255. You are listening to a program that's informative, educational, and of course entertaining, exclusively on Power to FM. Yeah.
I'm a courier here. PPS, Izzy said hello.
PPS.
Right.
Okay. Right.
Okay. I'm done.
So. Okay.
I'm done passing message.
Okay. So.
You know, I tell I'm focusing on the younger generation, especially the Sanatanists who are listening. They will understand what I'm saying, but everyone else could understand if they follow my trend of thought. If you want to understand the soul and the purpose of your soul, there are lots of information out there on it. But you cannot understand the soul, because when I was studying that, soul and reincarnation and those things, without understanding what happens to the soul when you die. So you need to read the Garud Puran. In the Garud Puran, it lays out step by step what happens to the soul, especially for Sanatanist Hindus, based on our belief system. Right? But when you're studying Tantra and sex, and you have never studied the soul, you have not laid the foundation to understand what you're doing. So many a times a person will come and tell me, I want to learn Tantra. I say, okay, tell me about your soul. Tell me about your soul. Tell me what your soul can do. Tell me what are your purpose when it comes to your soul. And they can't answer that. So if you can't answer the question for the base, the foundation,
how you can move forward?
How am I going to take you from here to the next level? When you have not done the homework to settle this part of it. Because when I was studying it, when I was learning it, I was confused. But thank God I had the basis that when I go to a yajna, when I go to a function where satsang was being said and whatnot, I will listen to what the Vyas is saying and absorb that and get knowledge from that. And I retain that. So when I started to study sex, sexuality, behavior from a Sanatanist point of view, based on Tantra, or the Kama Sutra, I understood it better than the average person in the classroom because I understood the elevation of the soul. But I cannot elevate your soul, you know. That is impossible, you know. Nobody could do that, you know. A guru could give you the formula to do that. A guru is a teacher. A pastor, a priest, a pandit, a imam, whoever could give you the formula that you should follow based on their teachings to do that. But if you are a student of sex, sexuality, sexual behavior, and yourself, and you need that fulfillment, how can they tell you about that? You have to understand who you are and the path that you have to take and what you have to do to develop it. And many a times, we don't know who we are. We don't know what we're doing. We're walking around in confusion. We want to live through this life, enjoy all the trappings of this life. And last night at the wake, I met some friends who we grew up with. And we had this discussion in a different format because we were talking about what we want to achieve in life. Again, nothing. I'm happy. I'm contented with whatever I have. I don't want another vehicle. I don't want another house. I don't want another room. I want a meal at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day. I need to sustain myself. I read a lot. I want to be educated. I continue with my education, but I don't need anything physically or materialistically. So they were talking, then we came up with the concept that, all of us should get together and, start bonding in that way, in a particular way. And I said, I have put it out there, all you deal with it, run with it. I will join. I put it out there, but all you run with it. Because at the end of the day, I told somebody, listen, one time a person threatened me to harm me with that. And I turned to him and I said, let me ask you a question. Have you made peace with your God? Because he's not a Hindu. He said, what do you mean by that? I say, if it is written that you are supposed to kill me, I can't run away from that, you'll kill me. I say, but you know what the good thing about it? Is that I am prepared to die. Are you? Because it could turn around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you come to kill me and I kill you, maybe you have to die by my hand. I don't know. I pick up a big stone and knock you on your head and you're up dead. The person couldn't handle my answer. The person literally jumped in their car and drove off. Because he might tell himself, I'm a madman. But it's not that I am a madman, it's that I have always prepared myself for death. I'm not going to take my own life because I know that's not what you're supposed to do. I'm not going to put myself in harm's way and be stupid about it and feel I'm superhuman and I could go anywhere. But if, and you know where I learned that? In a book called Freedom at Midnight. When Gandhi was approached by his assassin 3 days before he assassinated him. And his assassin told him, Bapuji, tell the world that you are the Mahatma. And he said, no, when you do what you have to do, and when the last word out of my mouth is the name of the Lord, then they will know if I am the Mahatma. He never gave himself that title. Do you know that? It's only when he was shot by Godse, the last word out of his mouth was Hai Ram. And that's when they knew he was the Mahatma. A Mahatma means a big, a big soul, great soul. So he was a Mahatma. Because he knew that that man was there to kill him. He knew it. And when that man was born, it was told to his parents that his name will rebound around the world. Everybody in the world will know his name at that time. And the parents felt proud that we have a child that everybody will know his name. But what did they know his name for? That he's the man who shot. He's the man who shot Gandhi.
Nothing positive.
But he was known throughout the world.
Yeah, but he wasn't known as...
But the point is that we each have a purpose in life. As a sexologist, we also recognize that. We also know a person have a sexual side to them. Not everyone has, excuse me, an elevated sexual side. There are persons who are dull and depressed when it comes to sex. And there's nothing that will bring that out but them. So they have to seek out that sexual guru. They have to seek out the person that will bring it out. And if you don't know how to seek it out, what are you seeking? If you don't know the pathway to go to the savannah, and you start walking that way, you'll ever get to the savannah?
No.
You'll have to go right around the world to end up by the savannah. So you'll never get there because you don't know the pathway and you don't know the direction to go. So you are walking away from it. And many a times we are walking away from our own enlightenment, whether it be spiritual, sexual, or otherwise, simply because we have not embraced ourselves and know who we are. So when persons come to me and tell me about the whole aspects of, I see PPS has read the book on Death and the Soul, the locally written one by Pandit, I think Munilal, right. You read a good book, but I advise people to read the Garud Puran. That is what you have to read. That will tell you, Izzy, stop it. Yes, so at the end of your search, can you tell me what you're searching for? People are searching, you know. And they have all kind of assumptions and all kind of ideas in their head about what the search is all about and their purpose and whatnot. And they don't understand the fundamental of it, which is the soul. The purpose that you have in this life is to liberate your soul, you know, full stop, you know, nothing else. You know. You are given this human form, and in this human form is to send the soul back to Godhead. That's your purpose. Whether you use the sexual part, the spiritual part, whatever pathway you're using, and that's where karma and all those things come into play. But what are the pathways we are taking to do it? So, getting back to the sexual part.
Yeah.
The search for sexual enlightenment. Let's call it the search for sexual enlightenment. My first question to any individual, who are you? Second question, what are you searching for? Third question, what are you willing to do? Who are you? Don't tell me my name is Junior Saldana and I am Junior Saldana. You're not Junior Saldana. You're not. Junior Saldana is a handle, is a cover. Don't tell me this is me. This is just the vessel by which it transports the soul. I'm not this.
No, so would it be fair to say that that's just your front?
That is the vessel, the chariot that carries the soul. The soul is in this.
So basically that's your engine room.
Yeah, you could use that word for it. Right, so if you understand that, okay, so if you're not the physical being and you're not Junior, what are you? And that spark of divinity, right? What is that spark of divinity? Explain it to me. And if the person can't explain it, you're lost. Now, my job now is to try to help you to understand that. And if I am trying to help you to understand it and you're not understanding that, we're not going to get anywhere with our relationship, with our friendship, with our love, with our sex. We're not going to get anywhere.
Now, because you're on two different pages.
Correct. And if I go to give you more information about it, you become confused. You get tied up in something and things don't work out.
Yeah, because you're not on the pathway anyhow.
Things don't work out properly. So many a times we have situations like that where that is just exciting one of my senses, you know, the sense of sight. I told you about another sense that I need excited, not just the sense of sight, but thank you very much. So it's important for us to understand that sort of enlightenment. But many a times we take the sex for the physical aspect of it only. And we don't get transformed into the higher aspect. I'm not saying the spiritual part of it yet. The higher aspect of it. Where you're so interwoven with the person and what you're doing. You're so interwoven with that. You're not separating yourself from what is happening to see or feel what is happening. So you're there participating in something, but you're only participating at the physical level, and you're not going to the other levels that there are. And there are many levels,
So you're just stuck on one spot.
You're stuck on one, and you're spinning there.
Yeah.
Now it may be sweet, it may be exciting, it may be feeling real good. It is the best thing that you could experience. But do you know there's a step above that? And if you go to the step above that, how wonderful you'll feel? And that is the breaking of that cycle of just having the physical sex. Because the physical sex, like I always say, any two fools could have sex. Any two fools could have sex. A man and man could have sex. A man and woman could have sex. Two women could have sex. A woman could have sex with animal. A man could have sex with animal. Anybody, any soul, any vessel could have sex. But at the end of the day, what fulfillment you're getting out of it? What levels it's going to take you at? Where are you going to be? At the end of the day, where are you going to be with this movement from a basic human being to an elevated human being? So the pathway of using Tantra to achieve that is also another pathway. But you know what is even better? Doing both. Doing both. Tantra, spiritual realization.
That was fantastic.
I could tell you it is. I could tell you it is. That's why when people see me in yajnas and satsang and whatnot, they wonder why I'm there. Sometimes they ask me the question, what are you doing here, boy? And I just smile. Because when I used to go with my godfather, who was one of the greatest spiritualists to pass through this country, I will do all that a pundit will be doing. I will do the same thing for him.
Oh.
And they will wonder how I could do that. And he will tell them, he knows what to do, leave him alone. So I was embedded into the spiritual side. Both my grandparents, my Aja and my Nana, taught me these things. My father and mother did the very same thing. But more so my guru helped me along that path. So I am elevating myself from both ways. And there will come a time in my life when I will drop one of it. And I know that. I don't know when.
But you know
I will.
But you know it will happen.
Yes. I know it will happen. I can't tell you which one. And I can't tell you why and how and when. But I know it's going to happen. Because at the end of the day, it's what makes me happy. I don't concern myself with being happy for others. My happiness comes from me. And when I am happy, others will be happy.
And the old saying, the old grandmother saying, the only person...
Grandma again?
She only said, you've got to make yourself happy. No one else could make you happy.
At all times.
At all times.
At all times.
All used in one.
So your spiritual upliftment,
yeah,
your sensual side. Some of us have a sensual side. You know, sometimes you look at someone and you see sensuality. It's the aura of the individual that you see. You see beauty, not only the physical beauty or the shape of the individual, or the color of their skin. You
see the inner beauty.
But you see a glow.
Yeah.
You see sensuality, and you tell yourself, "Oh boy, only if I could only be close to that." I will get that Shakti, what we call Shakti, vibration. I will get that from that person. And I will feel good about myself. You want to be in the company of that individual, if it's for 10 seconds every day. Now with social media, you could do it through social media, but yet still not seeing the person physically, to be next to the person, but you could still see them on social media and say, okay, well, this is the person I want to be with. Oh, I like the vibration from this individual. I like what he or she is about, but you can't explain it.
Yeah.
The very same way you could see a person and you're totally disgusted by them. You want to have nothing to do with them. You're vexed with them. You want to lick them down. They're not your friend. They're your enemy.
As a matter of fact, sometimes you see someone that you haven't really spoken to in life, but you just have a negative attitude.
A negative attitude towards them. So the same way you could pick up on positive things, you could pick up on negative things. And the more elevated you become, you want to push the negativity away. You don't want the negative around you.
No.
So your positive energy acts as a counter magnet. It does not attract the negative. It pushes away the negative.
Yeah.
And your magnetism attracts the positive all the time. But in Tantra, attracting the positive, and this is the difference between Tantra now and that spiritual side. In Tantra, I could suck the positive energy out of you. Engaging in sexual practices. Because in Tantra, it becomes so powerful that one consumes the other if the person doesn't know how to balance it, or if you don't give that person the ability to do it. So you drain them physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, sexually. You know, sometimes you finish having sex and you feel satiated, but you're tired. You're not drained. You're not drained because you're satiated, you feel satisfied, but you're tired because of the bout that you went through, and the body has to go through changes. And we talk about the 3 systems that are changing, the Kundalini, the movement. So you're tired. But you know, sometime after having sex, you're like totally wiped out and you're drained and you can't move, and it's like, oh God, it was good, but
Yeah.
That is someone has sapped your energy out of you. Whether they do it or not, doesn't matter. It means to say the powers that be within you was not able to hold your energy or maintain that balance with your energy as opposed to the other person. So the other person sucks your energy.
I tell you.
I know I've said a lot tonight, and I could go on some more about it, but I choose not to. The reason I chose not to go too deep into it, because I don't want it to be a sermon. I don't want it to be about religion. It's not about religion, because Sanatan Dharma is not religion. It's a way of life. It's the eternal belief. So PPS, I only allow that. There we don't go there. I don't want persons to believe that they have to convert or change their belief or whatever when it comes to that. All I ask individuals to do is to know who you are, know your purpose in life, understand the soul and the journey of the soul, if you want to embrace things sexually or spiritually, either way. And if you can't do that, you have nowhere to go. That's why there are a lot of persons have nowhere to go with those things. Somebody asked a question here. I need to address this. Doc, can someone have sex when fasting? It depends what you're fasting for, what ritual you're fasting for, what deity you're fasting for. And you can limit yourself from abstaining from sex because it's part of your fast. I'm sure a Hindu is asking this. That is what has to be answered. It depends on what you're fasting for, how you're fasting, and what you are willing to give up. It's like Lent. People say they stop smoking during Lent, and that's their fast. I will no longer smoke. I wouldn't have a drink during Lent. That's their fast. And it's all well and good. We could determine that. We are human beings. We have the power within us to say, I am going to abstain from talking about sex for the next 6 months, and that's my fast. I'm going to abstain from having sexual intercourse with anyone for 2 months, and that's my fast. That's abstinence. That is denying your body something that gives you pleasure or something that you are dependent on. That is fast. But if you're doing certain rituals that requires you to fast in a particular way, you have to follow that fast.
Oh, okay.
And there's a difference.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if your spiritual head, your guru, your pundit, your imam, your pastor, your priest, tells you, based on their knowledge, not just whims and fancies, based on their knowledge of what they're doing, that you need to do X, Y, Z, that's what you need to do. Because that's your guru telling you that's what you need to do, regardless of religion. But if you as an individual, for example, I fast on a particular day in the week, but my fast is not a strict fast, meaning that I abstain from meat for that day and alcohol. Well, I don't drink alcohol, so it doesn't bother me. I don't smoke, so it doesn't bother me. But that's my choice. But if I have a ritual to do, a puja, a prayers, a satsang, or to go to something important, I will have a specific fast that I will give to myself and say, you have to do this. And I will maintain that. That's why people can't understand. Like I was at the party Wednesday night, and I didn't have a drink. And I was dancing on the dance floor and having a good time, but I don't need to drink to do that.
Have a good time.
No. And everybody was like, what are you drinking? Coconut water or water? What? I said, that's what I drink in. And one of my cousin friends, he said, well, when you watch on the dance floor, I will be the guy on the dance floor. I said, no, you think you'll be the guy on the dance floor. I will be the guy on the dance floor.
I know.
Well, right?
I know you're only breaking down.
Because he was drinking to do that, and I was doing it naturally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And strange. Because in a position like that, you know, someone will, this is to show you a little switch as well. Someone will be watching you dancing, and they'll say, boy, that guy holding his liquor, good look how we breaking down the place.
Well, exactly, because they need to drink to do it.
Mm-hmm.
A person may need to... Okay, perfect example. I have a cousin. You ask him to give a speech, he can't say a word. He's like Raj on Big Bang Theory. You give him 2 drinks, and he could talk. You put a microphone, or you have to put a microphone near me, and I will talk. Ask me to talk about any subject, anything, I could talk. But I don't have to take a drink to do that. As a matter of fact, I will never take a drink to do that. If I'm the master of ceremony or something, I'm not taking a drink because I think that's an insult to whoever has asked me to do something.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I could see...
Even when time to say cheers, I will ask the person who are the caterers and water, bring me a glass of non-alcoholic wine. Because I don't want anything with alcohol. Because to me, I don't want to desecrate it. It might be a stupid belief, but that's what I believe. Right? But not everyone could do that. Not everyone could hold the end. Not everyone could do the appropriate thing at the appropriate time. And this is where the difficulty comes in. We are unable to do that. So we don't know ourselves. We have to become someone else to do what is natural and normal. Good night, folks.
Anyway, folks, you've been listening to Sexplosion on Power 2.1 FM with the only sexologist in the Caribbean, Dr. Raj of Total Image and the Adult Therapy Center. Now, for those of you who are listening to Sexplosion for the very first time, Sexplosion is featured here on Power 102 FM every Thursday and Friday from 7 o'clock on a Thursday, and Dr. Raj is back here with me on a Friday from 9 p.m.